We're 1 week into the new year, so it's goal check-in time. How have you mamas been doing? I want to hear about it. Head on over to our Facebook community that is growing by the day. I'll be sharing some of my goal progress with you all to one, help keep me accountable, and two, to help keep you motivated, and three, to further prove that I am not perfect and that life derails me all the time. I also want to stress that you really shouldn't try to start all of your goals at once. I want to make sure that is very clear. If you do, you will fail. And you don't have to go full throttle all at once either. Baby steps are okay. Small changes are okay. It's actually better to do it small than big. What I do is I look at the goals I want to accomplish, and then I look at the timelines I want to reach them in. Some are by the end of the year and some are sooner. Like some of my health goals have a summer deadline, and they are also my top priority because I really need to get my health in check. So that is where I started. I shared last week that I did put on a bit of weight this year, and I just haven't been feeling great. Plus, my autoimmune has been flaring up big time. So that alone has been my motivation to really get my health in check. I landed on a paper planner that has weekly habit trackers. So I put the goals in the tracker to help keep me accountable, which I highly recommend habit trackers. Having it in your face and just being able to check that box that you got it done. There's something just a little gratifying about checking that box, or in my case, there are circles, so I like to color them in. So 4 of my health goals that I wanted to start out with were 10,000 steps a day. The second was to close all of my rings on my Apple Watch, which pretty much goes hand in hand with the 10,000 steps a day. The third was to drink 64 ounces of water a day. And the fourth was to do yoga at least 3 times a week, starting last week. I hit the 1 week mark yesterday, and so far I'm hitting 3 out of 4. The yoga goal, I initially really wanted to start with Yoga by Adrienne's 30-day challenge, which is actually 30 days straight in a row, which is how I've started the past 3 years, and it was great. But I knew I wouldn't be able to do it every day this past week, so I only put it down for 3 days, and I didn't end up doing any. I am giving myself grace because I had another tough week and I got so many other things accomplished that were really important and still hit some of my health goals. So I'm not going to beat myself up over it. And that's an important thing, to really give yourself grace. Another goal and habit I put on my tracker was getting back into my morning routine. I shared last week that my morning routine was completely thrown off the last 2 months of the year, and I was really struggling to get it back on track with all I was juggling with the end of the year and the holidays. My goal was to get it back in place, at least on work days this week. And I'm happy to say that I did my morning routine 6 out of the 7 mornings this week. So my goal was 4. I hit 6, so that's a huge win. And that brings us to today's episode. Today, I'll be walking you through the number 1 trick to improve your habits. And it's the concept of habit stacking. I also walk you through this concept in my one-on-one coaching. Our first step is your time audit, and then we look to improve your routines. And the best way to be successful with routines is to habit stack, which by the end of this episode, you'll have a much better understanding of how habit stacking works. Just a reminder, through the end of this month, I'm offering $50 off my coaching packages, so no more excuses. Get the support and accountability you need to get the balance in your life that you're craving, because you know you're craving it. And while you're at it, create the space for yourself to accomplish the goals you have for yourself and your family this year. Check out the show notes for the package link. Or if you're still unsure, book a discovery call. They're free. We chat, you tell me what you're struggling with and what you want to accomplish. And by the end of our call, you'll know if you want to take that right next step. So check out the show notes or go to my website, Mom Wife Career Life, for more info. Are you feeling overwhelmed trying to juggle all the many hats you wear as a working mom? Do you want more quality time with your family without distraction of work and time alone to take care of yourself and your needs? Welcome to Mom Wife Career Life. I'm Kerri, a wife, mom of 3, and a recovering perfectionist. In this podcast, I will teach you how to create balance in your life by implementing healthy habits, organizing your home and your schedule, being intentional with your time and in your relationships, and most importantly, how to start putting your needs first, because no one can pour from an empty cup. Grab that second cup of coffee, or if you're anything like me, your third. It's time to dive into today's episode of Mom Wife Career Life. Today, we are talking all about habit stacking. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the term, habit stacking is a productivity technique that integrates a new behavior into an existing routine by linking it with a habit you already do consistently. This helps you establish the new habit more easily by leveraging existing routines as cues for the next habit. When you habit stack, you are removing the friction between the habits. What is friction? It's any obstacle or barrier that is between you and that new habit. The more friction you have, the less likely you are to do a task. For instance, if you're on your first floor and your goal is to go on your treadmill, and your treadmill is in the basement, and your sneakers are upstairs in your bedroom closet, there is friction there. The obstacle for you to go on your treadmill is taking that extra step to go upstairs and get your sneakers. But if you leave your sneakers right where you need them, by your treadmill or on your first floor where you come down in the morning, you remove that friction. And when there is friction, there is that extra few minutes for your motivation to completely drop, or that inner voice to come up with all the excuses as to why you shouldn't get on the treadmill. So we want to remove the friction. Part of my morning routine is making lunches. It takes me around 15 to 20 minutes to make 3 lunches, which saying that out loud is a little crazy. That's a long time. I should be better about getting the kids to pack their snacks at least. And I know some of you have your kids make your own lunches, and we tried that for a bit, but 2 out of 3 of my kids would be fine not bringing lunch to school at all. And if I left it to them to pack, Lord knows what they would put in there. So it's really just easier, at least at this point right now, for me to make their lunch. So I'm packing their lunches. I grabbed my vitamins because they were right in front of the kids' snacks that I grabbed for lunch. I have my computer on the counter, and I'm usually watching a video from whatever course I am taking because I'm always taking a course. And if I'm not watching the video, then I'm listening to a podcast that aligns to whatever I am focusing on for that day. It's usually related to growing my business or getting more organized and more efficient because I'm an efficiency addict. And this week, I really wish I had someone recording me because I can only imagine what I look like. But as I was in the kitchen, I was marching in place as I was making their lunch, as I was watching a video. And I didn't allow myself to stand still because I had the opportunity to get steps in. And with work being so busy and not being able to get up from my desk as much, I have to take the opportunity wherever I can to get those steps in. So just in that 15 to 20 minutes, I had 4 habit stacks. I had my vitamins. I made healthy lunches for the kids. I had some professional development in there, and I was able to work on my health goals by marching in place, looking like a crazy woman, getting my steps in. Now that you have an idea of how habit stacking works, here are my tips on how to start. Number 1, choose a new habit. Decide on the new habit or behavior you want to incorporate into your routine and see what part of the day it makes most sense to do it in. I'll use an easy example. We'll choose taking vitamins. It's a habit that most people want to have, and it makes the most sense, at least for me, to take them in the morning. So that is where we're going to focus. Step 2, start small. Begin with a manageable task to avoid overwhelming yourself, which is why I use the example of vitamins. We all should be taking them. It takes less than a minute to grab a bottle, open it, and take them. Step 3, be specific. Clearly define when and where you want to perform this new habit stack and create a specific trigger. So with this example, I chose the morning because it works best for me. And where? I chose my kitchen because that is where I spend the most of my morning and where it makes sense to actually store my vitamins. You may want to store them in your bathroom, so choose a habit like before I brush my teeth, I take my vitamins, so put it next to your toothpaste. Number 4, identify an existing habit. So choose a current habit that's already established in your routine in that time of day that you want to incorporate the new habit in. So with the vitamins, you're looking at a habit you already have in the morning. If you make coffee, put your vitamins next to the coffee. Like I just said, if you want to keep them in your bathroom and you want to put it right next to the toothpaste, you could do that. If you have a dog and you walk him or her in the morning and give them a treat after, put your vitamins next to your treat. For me, I leave them right next to my kids' snacks, so I take them as I'm making the school lunches. I can't take their snacks out of the cabinet without picking up my vitamins to move them out of the way. Number 5, pair the habits. So you're going to associate the new habit with the existing one by performing them consecutively, right after each other. If you're putting your vitamins with your coffee, associate making coffee with your vitamins. Make the coffee, take your vitamins. If you're going to do it before you brush your teeth, take the vitamins, brush your teeth. If it's with the school lunches, make school lunches, take my vitamins. You see how that works? So those are the steps I take to habit stack. And once you get the hang of it, you could really add on more habits. So look at your list of goals you created for the year. And if you didn't create goals, go back and listen to my Rock Your New Year series. I'll link them in the show notes, but go through your list and see what are some easy ways to fit in the new habits to your already existing habits. Drinking water is a really easy one. Every time you're in your kitchen, making school lunches, making dinner, make it a point to drink 12 to 16 ounces of water. If you don't already have a 64-ounce water bottle, I highly recommend it. I'll link the one that I use in the show notes, but having a water bottle with the exact amount of water you want to drink in a day is really a huge help. I hope you found this episode helpful, and if you did, share it with a friend. You can also help keep each other accountable with all these new habits and new routines you're putting in place. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Kerri Pat. Before you go, if you found this podcast helpful, I would be so grateful if you would take a minute, go on over to iTunes, and leave me a review. If you have other stressed out mamas in your life that you feel this podcast could help, take a screenshot of this episode, post it in your Instagram stories, and tag me, and let them know they are not alone and they can create balance in their life too. If there's a topic you would like me to cover or you just want to connect, DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life or join our new Facebook community. Sending you love and light until next time on the Mom Wife Career Life podcast with Kerri Pat.